Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar on Article Galaxy References, the ultimate reference manager for collaborative teams. We're really excited to have you join our webinar today. I should say probably good morning and good afternoon, and depending on where you're at. And while people start joining this webinar, we're still like a couple of seconds early, actually. I'd love to know where you're all located. So feel free to use the chat feature down here below and just like add, where you live, where you're located right now, and dialing in from today. I'm from Germany. I'm based in Merida, Mexico. Chris, one of our panelists, I'll officially introduce in about a minute, from California. Pete, that's Chico, California too, right? North Carolina, USA, awesome.
Yeah, we got this global group on the call today between our panelists and all the attendees, and then Chris and I are sitting about 10 miles from each other right now.
Consider neighbors. Nice. Yeah, it's great to have like such a global group, and I believe lots of people from Europe dialing in today. So I might actually have some Germans with me on this call. If you're German, out yourself. I would love to know. Yeah, so feel free to go ahead, grab a drink, a water, a coffee, a tea until we get started in a couple of seconds here. Great, so I think we're gonna get started. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, everyone who just joined, and welcome to our webinar on Article Galaxy References. We're really excited that you're joining us today. As researchers, we know that one of the most important things we can do is keep track of our sources, but doing so can be a challenge, especially when we're working with other people. That's where Article Galaxy References comes in. It's a reference management tool that makes it easy to keep track of your sources and share them with others on your team. My name is Julia Thiessen. I'm the Senior Growth Marketing Manager here at Research Solutions, and we'll be moderating our conversation today. And with me, we have our panelists, Chris Atwood, VP of Product Development at Research Solutions, and Pete Dunning, Director of Customer Success at Research Solutions. So before we get started, just like a couple of housekeeping items here. You're on listen-in mode. Feel free to use the chat feature if you have like any issues whatsoever, still want to share your location. Otherwise, we have the Q&A feature enabled as well. And we highly encourage you to ask all of your questions in there. We'll have dedicated time at the end of the webinar to answer all of your questions. So whatever question comes to your mind, feel free to just add it right away, and we'll make sure to cover it at the end, so no question gets unanswered. The webinar will be recorded, so in case you have to drop off earlier or you would like to rewatch, we'll be sending out the recording later today, so we've got you covered. And looking at what we'll be covering today, a little table of contents. We'll give a bit of an overview about Research Solutions, then dive right into the main topic of this webinar, Article Galaxy References. We'll do a live demonstration to show you how it looks like. And then, as I mentioned, we'll have dedicated time for all of your questions at the end. Now, with that being said, let me hand it over to our panelist, Pete. Oh, sorry, Pete, you're on mute.
There we go. Thanks, Julia. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be located. My name is Pete Dunning. As Julia said, I'm the Director of Customer Success here at Reprints Desk. I still manage a few key accounts today, but my primary role is to oversee and supervise the team of account managers that help and work with our customers every day today. Along with our wonderful customer support team that operates 24/7, my main job and objective is to simply keep our customers happy. And I think you're going to be really happy with what you see here today. I know we have quite a few existing customers on the call that have been registering for these webinars, but we might have some folks on who are not current customers. For those people, I want to give you a brief overview and background about our company. Founded in 2006, Research Solutions provides solutions that simplify and streamline how organizations discover, acquire, and manage scientific articles. We provide seamless access to scientific content and knowledge management, saving time and money and accelerating research. More than 70% of the top pharmaceutical companies in the world today and prestigious universities rely on Article Galaxy today for their business and research needs. Why do our customers love Article Galaxy? Well, they love it because they can handle all of their research needs with one platform. And this is more true than ever now with the addition of Article Galaxy references, which we're going to look at today. We recently conducted a survey of all of our customers and asked them, what's most important to you in your research needs? And the two most important aspects that were mentioned is speed and efficiency of use. And this is exactly what Article Galaxy achieves for our users. It's easy to use, very fast, and it will get you all the scientific, technical, and medical content you need in one platform. And company admins love it because, and stakeholders love it because Article Galaxy streamlines workflows with one clear process, which saves time and money. We're excited to introduce our new software today, Article Galaxy References, the ultimate reference manager for collaborative teams. We believe this product is going to be the best reference manager on the market. We have long been considered the best document delivery service on the market. And now with Article Galaxy References integrated seamlessly with that document delivery engine, you're going to have the very best in content management as well. Today, during our demo, you're going to be able to see all the core features that we built into the platform and how they're going to help turn your team into that collaborative research engine. Our goal with this webinar is to provide you with an overview of how it works, how it saves you time, simplifies your reference management workflow, and helps you collaborate more effectively with your teammates. With that said, I think I'm going to pass things over to Chris Atwood, our VP of Product Development and Engineering, to get you a demo of this wonderful product. After the demo, there's going to be plenty of time for you to answer your questions, as Julia mentioned. So please, as we're going along, as you think of them, don't hesitate to type them into the chat. We will get to them before the demo is over. There's going to be lots of time for that. So I think with that, we can pass it over to Chris for the demo.
Great. Thanks, Pete. Thanks, Julia. Good morning. Good afternoon, everyone. Julia already introduced me, but for those of you that I haven't met, I'm Chris Atwood. So I head up our product here at Research Solutions. Really, my job is to oversee all of Article Galaxy and Article Galaxy References, which I'm going to show you here in just a couple minutes. So all the features within and all the requests and those sorts of things. So really what we're going to do, probably spend maybe the next 20 minutes or so, and I'll introduce you to the things that Pete and Julia just mentioned. We'll take a look at Article Galaxy References and some of the details within. And then, as Pete mentioned, we will definitely leave some time at the end to answer questions and clarify maybe anything that wasn't clear, things like that. So with that said, let me dive right into the demo. Let me kind of set the stage a little bit before I jump into Article Galaxy References and the features within. Research Solutions as a company, what we really do is we help research-intensive organizations like yours with things like the discovery of scientific literature. So finding articles. We also help with the acquisition of that scientific literature. So really helping you and your users find the articles wherever they may be, from any publishers, any really resources within the world, for getting all that literature at the lowest possible cost. And then managing that literature, so putting it in folders, collaborating with users around that content. And that's really a lot of what we're going to focus on today. So we're really living in that world of finding literature, acquiring it, and then managing it. And today we'll take a look at Article Galaxy References and how you can utilize this new product to manage literature and then also to collaborate around it and do some other things. So we'll take a look at that today. Before I jump right into that product, for some of you, you maybe haven't seen Article Galaxy or what it looks like. So just kind of want to give everyone a lay of the land here, if you will. This is a common Article Galaxy dashboard. This is a demo account, but you'll see things like a menu on the left-hand side, the ability to search for articles, and then we have some things like customized resources. So a lot of what we focus around is helping users find what they need, get what they need, and then manage it. Article Galaxy References lives in the menu over here, and it's a menu item that users can click on. When we click on Article Galaxy References, it brings up a new interface, and we're going to talk all about this really over the next 15-20 minutes here, and how you can utilize this tool and really how things are broken down and how you can organize things and that sort of thing. So let me start with the layout of Article Galaxy references and talk about some of the sections and things. What we did is we created a really a modernized look and feel to literature management solution. So we created sections over here for users to really to accomplish goals. So you'll see in this top left-hand section, it's really about the discovery section. So finding literature, finding articles, maybe it's just finding, those citations out in the world that exist. It also might be finding articles that your company already owns. We're going to talk about that. And then just below that, you can access your order history. So my orders are things that I've ordered as a user, I've acquired through Article Galaxy. The sections below, or the section just below all of this discovery, is really about the organization of literature. So you'll see there's a section around my folders here, and then there's a section around shared folders. So my folders are my folders. These are the things I create that only I see. And then just below that are the shared folders. These are folders that I might be sharing with Pete or with Julia. So these are the things that I can collaborate with others around. We'll talk about how all this works and how it can be used and that sort of stuff as we go through this. So really kind of starting with the top section here within Article Galaxy references, there's a search icon. So in search, users can literally just search for articles. I put together a little demo here so we can see, some examples. I'm just searching for food allergy and immunotherapy. I just do a search for these keywords. It will pull back a list of citations. I can do things like expand these columns to view the article title. I can move columns around if I prefer to see it in a different order. But I can produce these results and I can look at the citations by clicking on them. So you kind of see this hierarchy of things, meaning these are, this is the section I'm on, this is the details of the section, and then this is the details of the item I have selected. So that's just a common modern layout that we've kept throughout with Article Galaxy references. When I select an item in my my search environment here, we see the details appear. So I see the full citation information with the title of the article, authors, publication information, DOI, PubMed ID if available, things like that. I can click this link. It'll take me to the publisher's website if I want to see more about the article. I can also do things like save this reference to another folder over here. I'll show you how that works in just a second. Something that's unique with Article Galaxy references is we have built-in reuse rights. So for a lot of organizations, things like copyright and the reusability of content's important. So this can be integrated with your license or licenses. We also have a product called Reuse Rights that it integrates with to show users really how they can reuse content in a legal way, really to help keep organizations covered when it comes to copyright. Just below that, you'll see abstract information. You can expand it to kind of read all that abstract and decide, is this an article that I may want to acquire or that maybe I want to come back to later. You can really easily organize that stuff. I'll show you in just a second how that works. Something else that's unique and that really helps streamline workflows is related to getting articles. So you can search for them and read them and read the details. And if you want the article, you can click the Get Article button. And this is really where Article Galaxy shines. You can easily just access that PDF. In this case, this particular article is open access. We click Request PDF, and the PDF will just serve up to us instantly in the browser. So it's just a real seamless integrated solution to get users from point A to point B, really simply put. Now, if I find articles in a search that I'm interested in, I can select one at a time and I can review that item. And maybe I review a few of them and I decide I want to move some of these items to a folder. I can select multiple items if I want and just easily drag and drop those items to any folder I want. I'll put these into my food allergy folder, but once I do that, the system just copies those citations over in a real seamless way. So it's just easy to use. You can just move content around as you see fit. I'll come back and show you what that looks like in a folder in just a second, but I want to talk about some other ways that you can really utilize Article Galaxy references to, locate content, find articles. And another way that you can do that is in your company PDF library. So a lot of organizations today have a company PDF library with us. These are just built out folders that you can find and access literature that your company's legally acquired. It's the same sort of concept that I showed you in search. So I'll do a different search for just a different keywords here. This is my go-to search, but I can search in that library for articles related to peanut allergy. So I can look and see what my company's ordered, other users maybe have acquired in the system. And I can very easily select an item in here, review that citation information. I can do some of the things that I talked about as far as saving, checking reuse rights. There's even an option here to share with a colleague. So I can click this share button and I can get a permalink. If I want, I can copy it, email it over to a colleague, send it over in Teams or whatever tools you guys use. I can also just search in here for a colleague in my list and select, in this case, Juan, and share it. And Juan will get an email and he can come right to this article. So it's a real easy way to kind of help make people aware of things that you maybe want to make them aware of and that sort of thing. In your PDF library, you can easily just open the PDF, quick PDF click, that PDF will download and you're on your way to reading the article. You can also take items from your company PDF library and very easily select a few or whatever you'd like and just drag and drop them into a folder, just like I showed you. Real easy to move things around in Article Galaxy references. The My Order section works the same way. This is just about, you can find stuff that you've already acquired. You can organize it into specific folders. Real simple, real easy sort of a process. So once you've kind of found the items you need, you can begin really that organization process or begin kind of reviewing content or, organizing things and sharing and or collaborating around that content. And this is where these folders come into play here. So if I scroll down to the My Folders section, you'll see I have a couple folders here, one called food allergy and then one called oral immunotherapy. Food allergy, if I click this little arrow here, you'll see I have some subfolders in here. So I've got subfolders on dairy allergy, gluten allergy, peanut allergy. I don't have any of those allergies, but the reality is you can create subfolders of content and organize based on maybe certain subject areas or maybe product lines or whatever it might be. You can actually create subfolders of subfolders of subfolders of subfolders, meaning you can go as deep as you'd like to. We don't have any limits on subfolders or subfolders. Some people really like to organize down deep, and you can do that with Article Galaxy references. So you can really get as deep or as focused as you'd like to within folders and subfolders and things. We'll talk a minute about what tags are and how that works. I'll show you that functionality. I do want to show you how easy it is to add folders, and then I also will talk a little bit about shared folders and what those mean. So you'll see on both of these sections, there's a little plus symbol here and here. You can very easily add a folder at any time that you want to. So if I just want to add a new folder for something like jeans, I can create that folder. I can also share it. Right now, I'm just going to click create, and it just creates a folder. Real easy over here. I now have a folder called jeans. If I click the little gear icon, I can create a subfolder. So I'll create a subfolder for the BRCA1 gene, and I'm on my way. So now I have a folder and then I have a subfolder structure. So real easy, real simple, just a kind of a easy process to do. if I want to share this folder, I can click right back on that gear icon, click the sharing option, and then invite people in my company. So I'm inviting Juan, a colleague from my team. I can give him access to this. These folders have permission rights to them. So we have 3 concepts of permissions: a viewer, someone that can just view the stuff, they can't edit, they can't change. An administrator can make some edits and do some different things in here. And then an owner has full rights. I'll make Juan an administrator, invite him. And once I share this folder, that folder automatically goes into my shared folder section. So real simple, real easy. It's a great way for, teams to collaborate around content and really achieve the goals they need. I'll show you more around shared folders and collaboration and that sort of thing. But I want to show you a couple details within these folders when it comes to things like citations that already exist, and how you can help manage some of your content and that sort of thing. So in this folder, I've selected it in my immunology folder, and I can select any item in here if I want to. But this particular item I selected, you can see things like the citation information. Some of these details I've already talked about as far as saving your reference, checking reuse rights, and sharing. Just a quick highlight on saving the reference. This is just the same thing as just dragging a reference into a folder, but we wanted to give you the option to be able to click save and then access any folder within this functionality. So it's the same thing as dragging and dropping. That's usually a little easier, but we wanted to have this available at any time for a user. So we'll see the abstract information. We'll also see things like subfolders, which I'll talk about. We'll also talk about tags in just a second. But I want to highlight a couple things here in this top menu item. So we see the details of the article, citation information, abstract, that sort of stuff. We can always edit those details. So we can, if this isn't a journal article, it's a book chapter, we can change the type. There's a bunch of different types you can change to. We can also do things like edit authors if there's a missing author or something misspelled. It's pretty uncommon, but you can do that. Modify that citation information. We can also do things like add notes. So maybe I just want to make a note about this article. Oh, really important article or whatever it is. These notes are shared. So if you make a note, others will see those notes. Sometimes that's important. We'll talk about other collaborative notes and other collaborative functionality in just a second. But this is just like a simple way at the citation level to make a note about that particular article. Something else we can do, which is very needed in many cases, is add additional files to these records. So I can click this add file and it'll pops open my local folder on my computer, and I can do things like add an Excel file or add a Word document or a PowerPoint, and I can add really whatever I need. It's unlimited. The file storage is unlimited. That's by design. This is really intended to be an enterprise application, so groups can do what they need to. You can add all sorts of file types. These are just a couple examples. Often articles have supplementary material that might be an Excel file or a PowerPoint, but sometimes it's a video and sometimes it's an image or images. So really there's a whole variety of things you can add to these records, really to help facilitate your research needs. Keep in mind, if you're sharing a folder, all of this stuff is also shared. So people that you're working with will see that content wherever and whenever they're looking at those details. So you can really do a bunch of additional things with these citations. I want to briefly talk about subfolders and tags. I mentioned subfolders already and how certain content may live in a subfolder, and I talked about that up here in this food allergy section. If an item lives in a subfolder of a main folder, you'll see a tag for that, and it will show you that the item lives in the subfolder as well. There's also a section on tags, and tags are kind of like a simple way to identify or mark items. Maybe you want to come back to them. Maybe you want to create a tag to help categorize things. Let me kind of show you an example of this. If I click the tag section, I can tag this article with something like T-cell, for example, and give it a tag of T-cell. I could give it multiple tags. I could really, go crazy with this sort of thing if I want. But I'm just going to add that T-cell tag, close this down. And what you'll see in this folder over here is there's a tag section. So once I tag an item, I'll automatically get a new folder called T-cell. So anytime I tag an article or other articles with T-cell, they'll automatically go into this folder. And I'll see all of my tagged items related to T-cells. It could be any word, phrase, whatever it is. It's a way to help users kind of automatically organize content when you're going through those folders. So tags are pretty powerful. They do a lot. You can do quite a few things with those tags. Coming back to this top level folder on immunology, there's a few other things in here that I want to kind of showcase and point out. You can bring these citations up and you'll see each item has the ability to be starred or marked as a favorite. You can mark items as a favorite. And then, you could imagine if this list is 100 or maybe quite a few citations, you can mark the ones that are important and you can filter this by most important items and see those items there, move that content around how you'd like. So it's just a real easy way to help you identify important articles in your process of reviewing literature and that sort of thing. So that's kind of a rough idea about how these folders are organized, from personal folders to shared folders. What I've really kind of shown you is how you can search within Article Galaxy references and find content, whether that's things just kind of that exist in our database or in our discovery environment or in your PDF library, things like that. But that's not always the most common way that users are finding literature out in the world. You might be in a tool like PubMed or Embase, and you're finding literature in those tools, and you want to bring that content into Article Galaxy references. There's actually a few ways you can do that, and I'm going to show you how that works in an empty folder here. So I'm selecting this folder called immunotherapy. And you're out in the world, maybe in PubMed, and you find some content you want, or maybe it's Embase and you export that content. It's real easy to get it into a folder in references. I'm going to start with the most basic way, and then I'm going to show you some real easy ways to get content into Article Galaxy references. So sometimes you might be in PubMed, or maybe someone emails you a citation and you just want to add that record somewhere. If you click this add, you can add a single citation, and it will populate this set of fields I showed you just a second ago. You can very easily copy things like a DOI, if you're familiar with DOIs, or a PubMed ID, and you can put that information into either of these boxes. Once you tab away from the box, it will auto resolve that citation for you, and then you can just click the save button, and your record's added automatically to Article Galaxy references. Now, this is the most basic way to add content. I'll show you a few other things. I also want to show you a unique feature to Article Galaxy references. So when you add an item, our system looks to say, do you already own this item? Is it something that's already available to you, either through your organization or maybe in your company PDF library, for example? Article Galaxy references is smart. It'll look for that. In the case of this item, it notices that I already have it. If I click this import PDF from library, it pulls in that PDF automatically. And then I have that content directly in the folder that I'm working. So imagine you're in a place like PubMed or Embase, wherever you're at, you bring content in, that's, references, citations, that sort of thing. Article Galaxy references will automatically check to see, do you already have this PDF? And then it'll let you click a button and load it. So it's intelligent. It's just a great way for you to get that content in an expedited manner. So that's a way to add an item in a real manual sort of a way. But, a lot of people are kind of out in the world exporting things in, say, for example, an RIS format or a BibTeX format. And, Article Galaxy References supports those formats. So you can very easily take folders or take files from your system. So if you export content from whatever tool it might be, Embase, and you want to get those references into Article Galaxy References, you can grab that RIS file or a BibTeX file and just drag and drop that right into whatever folder you have. And it will automatically resolve those citations and bring them right into the system. So it's just a real simple, easy way to drag and drop files, put them right into this system, right into folders, and then you can begin doing your literature reviews, that sort of thing. Alternatively, and maybe even most seamlessly, you can just take PDFs too. So maybe you have documents on your desktop or in a Google Drive or OneDrive or whatever it might be. You can take PDFs and literally just select them, drag and drop them right into a folder within Article Galaxy References. The system will do its math. It'll process those PDFs. And then once it's done, it will automatically load those records right to the folder you've told it to. So you'll see here, these 5 items I added, it added all the citations and all the PDFs directly to the folder. And then from here, I can just begin doing the work that I need to do within these folders. I get full citation information, abstract, all of that content becomes available immediately. That's a really, really nice tool for bringing content in and beginning organization and collaboration. With that said, I also want to show you some of our additional collaboration functionality. So I'll go back to my immunology folder here. I'll show you some of our additional functionality when it comes to collaboration and annotation and that sort of thing. So I've selected this article from PLOS One. I look at the citation information. I can open this PDF here. When I click open PDF, what I will get is the PDF will load up on the screen, and then I'll start to see some of the annotation functionality here. Computer's kind of loading slow. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you guys can see this article a little bit better. But I get this annotation functionality, so I can do things like highlight sections within the article. So maybe I want to highlight this piece. And I can do things like comment on sections. So I can literally insert my comments onto these items. Whoops, my computer would work here. And I can make a comment here, whatever, great article. And then I can save these comments. Pete or Julia can also access these PDFs and make comments in line with my comments. They can also do things like highlight other sections or underline other sentences or words, so we can collaborate around these articles for our research needs, that sort of thing. So there's a lot of functionality with this annotation tool, and it provides a lot of collaborative functionality as well for groups that have needs, around literature and literature management. So that just gives you a kind of a little brief insight into some of the annotation and collaboration functionality when it comes to these PDFs and things. So I'll go back to the folder here. I want to highlight something that automatically happens. Once you annotate a PDF, maybe making a highlight or underlining, you'll see this little icon up here. What this icon is it's an indicator that that item has been annotated. It lets you know you've annotated the item. So it's a good way to say, oh, have I annotated this item or not? And then you can go through your list to determine which ones you've really reviewed and looked at. Something that's really useful as well is you maybe annotate an item in a folder and then you want to move it to a different folder. The system's smart. It'll ask you, do you want to move that with the annotations or without the annotations? So maybe Pete and I are collaborating and I say, well, I need this document for a different purpose, but I don't want to see all those annotations anymore because I'm kind of starting over. The system will cue you and it'll say, hey, do you want those or do you not want those annotations? So it's smart when it comes to that sort of stuff. Few additional things in here I want to show you. And then I also want to talk about an integration we have with Microsoft Word. So really, we've been looking at finding content, organizing it, getting literature into these folders. But once you've done that, and once you've reviewed the content and you've really worked on the things you need to work on, often you need to get that content back out of the folders. And Article Galaxy References has solved this in a few different ways. And we have some new things coming here soon as well. So we're working on this immunology folder. And if I want to export content, it's really simple. If I want to export citations in RIS, I just click RIS. It'll export that folder, that literature for me, the metadata. Something that's unique with references is if you are an administrator, you can bulk export PDFs out of folders. So a lot of organizations go through literature and then they say, well, these are the items that I need to submit maybe to a regulatory body, or I need to submit to some sort of agency. You can click bulk export. It gives you a little warning. It begins its process. And then all of the PDFs in the folder you've selected will automatically export and they're renamed with the article title. So it's just a real simple way for you to get the content out once you've done doing the things you need to. So it's a really, really great tool. There's some additional functionality coming here in just a couple of weeks, some exporting into Excel and CSV and even into Word and that sort of thing. So we've got a lot of things coming that you'll see here in the very near future. Now, once you've done this literature management, maybe even exported some content, you may also have the need to create new works, so write additional literature. And this is where our Microsoft Word add-in comes into play. So I've created my little article here on immunotherapy. I've written some content around this subject. And within Microsoft Word, I can connect to Article Galaxy. So there's a little plugin here. It's easy to install. It connects to Article Galaxy and it connects to my folders that I've created. So these are the folders here, and I can see them in my drop-down list. But what I can do with these folders is I can, actually, let me select this folder, is fine. And I can inline cite and write the literature. So I write my literature here. I select a citation. It'll auto insert whichever citation I want. I'll just select a few so you can get an idea of this concept. I add in a few citations. And then once I've written my article, I've done all my referencing within the content or the context of the article, I can easily create my references section or my bibliography. I just go to the actions over here, insert bibliography, and it will auto insert these citations into my document. There are a little over 10,000 unique writing styles, so you can select between a huge database of styles. So think, along the lines of APA format, MLA format, Chicago style. There's about a little more than 10,000. You can also create your own custom style. A lot of organizations have a need for that. So really, Article Galaxy References integrates within Microsoft Word as well. So you can do that further writing of new literature and easily connect to the content within your tools that you use today. So as a final comment related to Article Galaxy References, it's really a tool to help you find content, organize it into personal and shared folders, and then collaborate with people in your organization around that literature, really to help meet your research goals. This product is really being developed and iterated on at a very fast pace. We're putting a lot of energy into this product. I mentioned you're going to see some more things with exporting into CSV and Excel. We're doing a lot of work around future addition to things like feeds and adding feeds to this tool. We're doing some additional functionality related to deduplication, some of those things. We're looking for customer feedback as well. So people like you to let us know what are the important features, what are things that maybe we don't have in here yet, but you'd like to see. So with all of that said, I probably went a little longer than I anticipated, but I wanted to really introduce you to the product and showcase a lot of the functionality within this tool. I think what I'll do is I'll bring that PowerPoint back up, and then we can see what kind of questions have come in. So let me bring this up, and I'll turn it back to you, Pete, for just a minute, and then we'll dive through the questions.
Thanks, Chris, for that awesome demo. Yeah, we will now be answering some of your questions that we've seen coming into the chat. But first, I do want to advise you all on next steps. If you want to add this to your account or learn more about Article Galaxy, if you don't currently have an account. I even see one of the questions that came into the chat about, yeah, I'm currently an Article Galaxy customer. I'm interested in adding this. If you're an existing customer already today, I would encourage you to reach out to your account manager. You should have an account manager associated with your account. Most accounts do. If you do not have one, or you don't know who your account manager is, I would just encourage you to reach out to customer support, and then they can help you get in touch with the right person. You can email them at customersupport@reprintsdesk.com, and they will get in touch with you and help you with the proper contact. Also on our website, we have a chat option. You can go there, and then on our website, there's at the little top, there's a get help button. If you click on that, it will direct you to customer support. If you are same thing, if you are a customer who is not a current customer today, and you want to learn more about Article Galaxy, let alone Article Galaxy references, we can help you with that as well. In fact, I think we will be able to put in the chat a link to where you can request a demo and learn more about our product. But again, you can always just contact customer support directly. As I said at the top of the call, they function 24/7. They're open around the clock. So no matter what time zone you're in, what day of the week, customer support is there. They can help you get in touch with the right people. But yes, if you're a current customer, your account manager would be your first best step to go to find out about adding that. All right, with that said, Julia, I think we got some questions coming into the chat. Let's take a look at those.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. Thank you, Pete. And thanks everyone for adding all of your questions. Great questions in here. Excited to get started. So I'll just start at the top and just go down. So if your question was just added, I'll get to that in a moment. So does this Article Galaxy references work with subscription agents like EBSCO?
You know, I'd love to learn a little more about, yes, sorry, I realized the acronym as you said that, Julia. So EBSCO, yes, absolutely works with EBSCO. I was thinking for a minute, EBSCO. Yes, absolutely with EBSCO. There's some standardized integrations that that this industry recognizes. We really support all of those. So working with EBSCO 100%. We integrate in several different ways. We would love to talk with you more about how we can meet those needs.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Sorry about the pronunciation here.
No problem. Threw me off. It's early. Yeah.
Yeah. Can individuals edit the information on company PDFs?
Say that one more time. Sorry, Julia. I didn't hear it.
Oh, all good. Can individuals edit the information on company PDFs?
So the company PDFs are intended really to be like a lockdown asset to the company intentionally. There are ways to edit that content. We can definitely talk about that. That's a really good one-on-one conversation. Things that live in your organization's PDF library, from like a user perspective, you can copy those things out into folders, you know, and begin your editing and organization within your own personal folders. That's the design with it. The question might be deeper than that about, hey, what if something's wrong in a PDF? There are ways to modify those sorts of things. But from like a user usage perspective, it's usually best to copy those things out and then begin your editing and review processes from your own folders or your shared folders.
Awesome. Great. I've got another good question here. Does Article Galaxy connect to Science Direct Elsevier?
Yeah, I mean, another great question, also actually related to the EBSCO question for sure. We definitely connect to Science Direct in a whole variety of ways. Elsevier is the parent company, if you will, to Science Direct. We have a fantastic relationship with Elsevier and Science Direct. There's a variety of collaborations and integrations there as well. So we would love to talk more about the specific needs, but absolutely.
Awesome. Are articles that are acquired through Article Galaxy automatically added to the company PDF library?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. And the answer is yes. We as a company, we really pride ourselves in copyright compliance and making sure organizations are covered in those areas and that sort of thing. So the answer is absolutely yes, we do. And we also do it in a very compliant way.
Amazing. Can Article Galaxy be connected to Scopus, a search tool?
Yeah, a great question. I mentioned Embase a minute ago. Embase and Scopus are different discovery environments, but in many ways there's some similarities there. They're also both part of that same parent company, Elsevier. Scopus and Article Galaxy have, once again, a variety of integrations. So no problem. You could imagine a user searching in Scopus. They can click a button to order an article. They can also click a button to do things like manage a reference, add literature to folders, things like that. So yes, definitely integrate there.
Great. Such good questions here today.
Yeah.
Next one, can you sort by year in folders?
You can. Yep. I didn't show all of the functionality. I kind of quickly discussed things. I went a little longer than I anticipated, but you can definitely sort by year. You can sort by title, by publication. There's a whole bunch of options. Yep.
Sweet. Next question is, what content types do you support?
I didn't show all the content types. I forget how many, there might be 10, 12, something like that. But you could imagine common things like a journal article is a content type, or a book chapter, or a book would be a content type. But we also support things like web pages and conference proceedings, things like that. So you'll see those in there. I can't remember how many options there are, but there's a whole bunch.
Awesome. So I think this is more of a clarification question. So Article Galaxy is both capturing the references and some PDFs. So many individuals can have the same PDF within their folders.
Yeah, by design, the answer to that's yes. You could imagine that, Pete might be working on a similar subject as I am, and he has some items related to peanut allergy. That's a big internal joke, but you could imagine that Pete has some of these items, and some of them are similar to the ones that I have. But Article Galaxy is designed in such a way to make sure that companies aren't repurchasing content. So we're doing this to save organizations money in a legal way. So it's really designed to allow you to create this duplicity where you need it, or duplicate articles and organization, but in a very compliant way.
Awesome. That leads right to the next question. So the question is, can you bring in illegal content in shared folders and share it with all your colleagues?
Would you ask the question one more time? I want to make sure I heard the words right.
Of course, yeah. There's kind of like a follow-up question to the previous one. It says, so you can bring in illegal content in shared folders and share it with your colleagues.
So, the system's really designed to really not allow you to be bringing in illegal content. Some of this stuff goes deeper into organizations and internal policies around these subjects and topics. With any tools out there in the system. You can always do illegal things or things you shouldn't do. Article Galaxy does a really good job of really doing our best to make sure people aren't doing that. But as anything, people find ways around stuff for sure. But this tool is designed to be an enterprise solution to share content in a legal manner, and provide that information to users on how they can use content for different purposes. So hopefully that gets to the core of the question.
Awesome. And in case there's a follow-up question, feel free to reach out at any time.
Yeah.
So is the citing tool available for Windows and Mac? And how does it work with Google Docs?
Yeah, great. I mean, great question. We live in a world where so many things now are just cloud-based and really work with kind of any operating system. And that's how Article Galaxy References works. It's 100% cloud-based. So it's agnostic when it comes to your operating system. You access it through the browser, that sort of thing. Google Docs is on our roadmap, that integration with Google Docs. We are in the midst of investigating and maybe kind of beginning development work on that integration. Today, it works with Microsoft Word and it works with like Office online products. So Google Docs is coming, it's on the roadmap.
Great. Then we have another question here. Can you use Article Galaxy with Word as a reference manager for writing scientific manuscripts? I think that's kind of like related to what you just answered.
Would you mind saying it one more time? That I want to make sure I heard that correctly.
Of course, yeah. It says, can you use Article Galaxy with Word as a reference manager for writing scientific manuscripts?
You definitely can. Yeah. I mean, you can integrate right within Word and then write those manuscripts that you need right within the tool. Yep.
Great. And this looks like the last question. So if anybody has like another one, we still have another couple of minutes to answer your questions. So this one is, my company currently has BiblioGo. How do we move over to this new product? What is the process? And will all of my PDFs automatically move?
I'll take that one, Chris. Yeah, if you're an existing customer today who has BiblioGo and you're interested in upgrading, so to speak, to Article Galaxy References, we can definitely do that. We have a good process that we can put in place for you. Step one would be contact your account manager, talk about the details that are needed for that upgrade. And then yes, once we do make that upgrade, all of your content, your company PDF library, everything that's in BiblioGo will transfer over automatically. Additionally, users will have the opportunity to send over and export their own personal bibliographies that they've created in BiblioGo, transfer that over with a little click of a button into Article Galaxy References so they don't lose all that work that they've done in BiblioGo. And we'll show you how to do that and we'll train users on that. But yes, it's a very easy process. So get in touch with your account manager and we can start the steps to get you moved over to Article Galaxy References.
And Julia, I noticed someone just messaged through as a clarification. They were talking about, utilizing references in different operating systems. That's the way my brain interpreted it. It's still early. Their question actually was related to the reference management tool. So the Word add-in tool that I was talking about. And the question was, specifically, is it available for Mac and Windows operating systems? The answer is yes. You can download and install that into either Mac or Windows machine.
Awesome. Yes, thanks for clarifying that and answering the question, Chris.
Yeah.
Amazing. So it looks like we've answered all of the questions. If any questions come up afterwards, feel free to reach out, as already mentioned, either to your account manager, to customer support, or through the link that I just sent if you're not a current customer, or just like replying to an email. So thank you so much for joining this webinar today, learning more about Article Galaxy References. Thank you so much, Pete and Chris, for showcasing it. And yeah, if you would like to schedule a demo, you could reach out here. Thank you, Pete, for adding that yet again. Yeah, have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, afternoon, morning, and yeah, we'll be in touch.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Take care.